Hello guys, SC Turkey here with another video review on a car that actually I just bought, believe it or not. It's a 2016 Chevy Corvette Z06. This one has the 8-speed automatic. It's a 2LZ model, and I guess what you miss out on the 3LZ is the better leather interior because you get a Napa leather, and this one they call it a Moulin leather. It's just a little less rich leather. It's a little grainier. The other leather's like really smooth, but this one, although it's not the top of the line one, it still looks pretty damn good. My car has the carbon flash, carbon fiber ground effects kit, which comes with this kind of an aggressive looking splitter, and thankfully it doesn't scrape, but I'm gonna go in at angles just to make sure it doesn't. You get the side splitter, and I wouldn't say it's a Z07 splitter, but it's very similar. Pretty aggressive though. Normally on the standard Corvette you get a smaller, less aggressive back spoiler. No splitter. And I think the front on the standard one is kind of a rubber piece. It's looks kind of cheap looking. This actually just makes the car, and it just brings it to another level. I do have the black wheels. My car is equipped with nav, and it has the PDR, which is the Performance Data Recorder. So I can pop my SD card in, which I just ordered. 128 gigs, so I'll have some good capacity on it. I do probably have one here, but I should see that tomorrow, and by the time I get around to it, I'll be able to drive it and do some video of the actual driving. You won't see me in it, but you'll see essentially what the front camera sees, which is kind of placed, I believe it's up here somewhere. Right on right in the inside where the river mirror is. Would have liked to have had the carbon fiber exposed weave on the roof, but you know, sometimes you can't have everything. You option the car the way you may want it, and you're going to spend a fortune, because I've seen them as high as $115,000. This particular one had an MSRP of $93. Then Chevy had a bonus tag event. That event gives you 10% off, and that's about $9,300. The dealer actually discounted at $7,500 for about $16,800 off, so it brought the price to about $76,151, which is a pretty smoking deal. Because I remember when these first came out in 2015, these Z06s, they were marking them up, you know, over MSRP, and here we are at the end of 2016, and they're giving these things away. I mean, I'm sure the dealer sold this under invoice, and of course Chevy supplied the rebate amount, so it brought it down to basically a Stingray price, you know, like a nice Stingray. And this car has a lot of standard features the Stingray doesn't have. That magnetic ride control. It also has the active exhaust. I guess they call that the NPP exhaust. I didn't think it had red calipers, but they do. But if you get the Z07 package, you get carbon ceramic brakes. Let's see here. I think inside we do have a, they call it a floor console lid, but it has Z06 on it. There are some differences in this car. One of them is the actual infotainment screen. Now it's equipped with Apple CarPlay. I think that was new for 2016 or 15, I don't remember. Probably 16, but I could be wrong. This one has a cool flat bottom steering wheel where my old C7 did not. I noticed the floor mats are different. Maybe the other ones were wearing out, so they put a plastic pad there where your heel would rest. Here's the seating. The other one had like a suede insert, but the other one was a convertible too. This one actually has a 4G LTE wireless hotspot for 3 months. So it gives you 3 gigs for a trial basis. So you can play around. If you like it, you can buy it. I don't see myself out on the road with this thing where I'm going to need, you know, Wi-Fi. So that's another new thing. The actual trunk, or we'll call it the hatch. This one has the optional cover that has a little flag on it. It comes with the standard one, and I think the other option was these wheel caps. I'll turn it sideways so you can see it. Corvette Racing. But I noticed the actual hatch is a powered hatch. We'll open that up. Got to find the button down there. Although it opens with power, it also closes with power assist as well. There's the inside. Wouldn't mind having a convertible, but I just don't see them on the lots. It's almost like maybe they don't sell as well. So the dealer even said, yeah, we don't sell a lot of them, so we don't order them. I'm going to have to upgrade those to LEDs. I think that is something that's missing because all the rest of the car has LEDs, and I know those come out really easily. So here's your cover. One cover attaches to the hatch, while the other one is affixed to the car. And when they shut, they kind of meet up together. And you have a little storage compartment down here. And I do know the battery is like on this side here. There's also a cover. If you open it up, I forgot which way. Oh, there you go. If you have one of those battery, I guess it keeps your battery charged. It plugs in, looks like a cigarette lighter plug, the opposite. It just plugs into that. Keeps your battery charged. And sadly, I just sold the one I had and my car cover. Well, that's all right. If I keep the car driven, you know, keep it running, keep driving it, it won't go dead. Let's see if I can demonstrate the assist shut. Because I thought that's pretty cool because the other one didn't have that. So let's see here. Well, you know what? I better shut the door because that'll create an air pressure. Otherwise, it'll just shut easily, and the assist won't be needed, and I won't be able to give you a demo of it. So let's see. Here we go. Let's just let it drop. I guess you have to push it down a little bit. There we go. That's kind of neat. I guess the reason why they did that is the car is so airtight. When you shut the hatch, it just don't want to shut. The door is open. It's no problem. It just goes down all the way. But without that, you have to really slam it hard. So that's something they did. And this is something I'm going to see for the first time myself here because I've never really investigated the glove box. But in the glove box, you'll have apparently an SD card slot somewhere in here. And to tell you the truth, I don't know where it is. I know it's here somewhere. I'll have to find it. I think it's probably somewhere on the left side, but I'll find it. I know this car is equipped as such. So it's a nice car, it really is. I mean, I can't complain. There's only one little tiny problem with it. And it was when I came up to the car originally, when we were looking at it, at the dealer lot, there was a cone up, like falling over on the side of this. And I noticed though, after I removed the cone, it was right about here, right here. And you can't really see it because I touched it up, but there was like a little spot of paint missing, like right at the corner, kind of the sharp. There's a little point there where everything comes together, and that had a chip on it. Now, maybe during shipping, something bumped up against it and rubbed against it. And I also noticed too on the other side where we have the side vents, and it was like this on other cars too, right at the corner here. Some of the paint was kind of right, you can see it right about there. Looks like its paint is like curling up a little bit. It may flake off, but I don't think it'll cause any issue because that cover just butts up right against it. And there was a little light abrasion scratch. Not really noticeable. It was right about here somewhere. Right in this range somewhere. But that could be corrected with paint correction. And the dealer did offer, if I wasn't happy with the touch-up paint solution, that they would pay to fix it. The only problem is, I'm not sure if they'd have to repaint the bumper, the side of it, and that just opens up a can of worms. So if it were in an accident, obviously I would do that. But I can't complain because the deal was so sweet. Now I looked at a red car. The red is very flashy, kind of not me. This is very stealthy looking. So I figured, let's forget the red, because actually when I started looking at the red, it had more problems, like chipping paint between the panels here, where this one does, and it was where the bumper itself meets the body. On the bumper, it had some chips, like between those two panels. I think when they assemble these cars, they slide the panels together and clip them in, and I think they rub and they break off paint. I think when they do these jobs, I think they should lubricate it with some soap and water and put it together. I'm no engineer. I don't work on them. Maybe that's a suggestion for those folks over there at Bowling Green. And some of the other car makers, the same thing happens even with the Fords. I've seen the same thing. I've seen it on my Edge, even on the used Focus, where the body panels meet together, they rub, and the paint just starts chipping off because the paint is softer on the plastic urethane. But that's it pretty much. I mean, other than that, there was not a mark on it. And I waxed it last night when I get home because that's my little ritual. Cleaned it up, made it look, nice and shiny. Not that it wasn't, but it has a little extra, little added touch to it. And now I know at least it's clean. I was able to go over it and touch everything and look at it, get used to it. And one thing that I noticed quite differently is on the standard Corvette, the fenders are not this flared out. You definitely don't have this vent here. I'm going to have to buy, they have they're mud guards. Not that I'm planning on driving through mud or water if I can, but they actually flare out right about here somewhere. They come out a little bit, maybe ½ inch. It's real subtle, but it also protects your body against rock chips because these tires are Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, if I'm not mistaken. They're very sticky, just like the original Pilot tires, and they just shoot rocks up. I mean, rocks even stuck to those tires, even when you pull from the street in the garage. So they have one for the front as well. I'm gonna have to order that, and I think they do make it for this particular car. I know they made it for the C7 Stingray. No Stingray badges on this car at all whatsoever. I guess this is not a Stingray essentially. So the Stingray, I guess, was your basic model. I would hate to say, but yeah, it's got front cameras too. Those front cameras are cool. They have one on each side in the same position. They also stitch the image together, so when you're pulling in, you can see what's ahead of you, because you definitely don't want to hit a curb with the spoiler, because I'm sure that's going to cost you some money. Probably $1,000 or more. They do have the spoiler available for another $1,000 as an option as exposed carbon fiber. People on the forums were saying that when you get the black ones, they were ones with imperfections. So what they did is, instead of throwing them away, they painted them. There are carbon fiber, but they essentially just paint them and charge you $1,000 less. So for $29.95 you get this, or $39.95 you get an exposed carbon fiber version. That would have been nice. They also, some of the cars have the stinger, which is the section between the vent and the windshield. That section of the hood has exposed carbon fiber. I mean, you can really option these things up and they look spectacular, but this is a good in-between because you get a spectacular car without spending the crazy, ridiculous price tags, because some of those are very expensive. They push, I've seen some as high as $115,000. So although I don't have the Z07 package, which gives you even a more aggressive spoiler in the back and the side splitters and all that good stuff, and the carbon ceramic brakes, I don't have that. But it still gives you kind of a look, maybe 90% of the look without the $7,000 price tag of that option. But it's a great car. It is fast. On the way home, I was driving on a road it parallels our freeway. And there was a car coming up to me, and I thought, I just don't want him in front of me because the road is a little side road. It might have some pebbles and rocks, and I don't want him to shoot any up. So I just stepped on it and got up to some high digit speeds, which I'm not going to admit to. But he was driving a RAV4 V6, and he was just pushing it to the max and basically keeping up with me, but he couldn't pass me. So at that point, around the curves at those speeds, I'm sure he was probably sweating bullets, although on this car, God, it just felt like it was nailed down and planted. No problem at all. I just felt comfortable going those speeds, even in a curve. That's where I got it from. Special shout out to Rydell Chevrolet in Northridge. I would have bought it locally, but my dealer did not have the inventory. They had very small amounts of them. I do have an issue with my insurance company, as they will not insure a car with an MSRP of $100,000 or up. They're called Ameriprise. If you haven't checked them out, you should. If you have a good driving record and you want to save money on your insurance, you certainly will save a fortune going with Ameriprise, because I got a quote on a car that had an MSRP of $100,000 plus, which is around 104. They had to send it to their department that, I guess maybe like an underwriter. They had to check it, approve it, and they did call me and say it was approved, but I didn't buy that car because I didn't want a black car anyway. So with that said, they gave me a quote on that car because now they could, and they said it was around mid 200s for 6 months of insurance, and I have $250,000 to $500,000, and I also have uninsured motorists, $500 deductibles, you know, and for your comp and collision. I mean, it was literally $500 a year. But when I had to go to Progressive, because I was looking at another car that had an MSRP of 100, they have to submit an approval for each VIN number that you're looking at, which is ridiculous. You think they'd say, okay, well, you're buying a cheaper car, but above 100, but lower than the first one. No, I have to send it to approval, and we won't find out till Tuesday. Well, if I wait till Tuesday, all the bonus tags will be gone, and I won't be buying anything. So I picked this one, and but they gave me a rate on the $104,000 car, and it was spectacular. So I got another rate from Progressive through Ameriprise, and they told me that yes, Progressive would insure it through Ameriprise. Their agent, I guess they just sell the insurance through Ameriprise, and it was like $1,300 for 6 months, say versus $250 for 6 months. Oh no, forget it. I didn't even want to spend $101,000. The other one was a nice blue. I forgot what color blue was, Laguna blue maybe. The color was awesome, but I like this one a little better. But it was also cheaper, so I don't have to go through that stuff. So since it was under $100,000, I can just call them up, and I'm going to have to call them today because I don't even know if they're open because of the holiday. But I'll add it to my policy and drop the other cars off, and I'll get some videos out to you. But I just want to share this with you. And for all the haters out there, no, this is not a dealer car. No, I'm not an upper management at a dealership. I'm a retired guy. I worked for AT&T for 30 years and left the company. Had some good investments. I was able to keep, to hold my own and afford nice things. Can't afford a Ferrari or Lamborghini or high-end Porsche or anything like that. This is about the limitation of what I can buy. So it is my car. I did buy it from Rydell. Took their stupid license plate holder up and put my carbon fiber one on because every time I buy and sell a car, I just retain all the little niceties. And because, why should I give them a $50 license plate frame? I'll just reuse it again and put them all in the cars. I wouldn't put it on that Focus because, that's just a hoopty as far as I'm concerned. But it fits this car perfectly. I had a chrome one on my last Corvette. You can see the video. I made one video of it. I really wasn't looking at reviewing cars then. And this is not really a review. It's just more sharing my experiences with you. But yeah, I'm going to get those mud guards, and I may get some caps for the valve stem. Those are inexpensive things, and they add little nice touches to it. I think that's probably all I would do to it. I'm not going to modify it. I'm not going to change the exhaust. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm going to keep it as such, because I'll tell you something, modifying cars gets very expensive very quickly. And I don't really want to void warranties. And if you really modify a car beyond, just small touches, then if you put a supercharger on your standard Corvette, then something goes wrong, then you're going to have to deal with the aftermarket, shop instead of taking it to the dealer. And the dealer's just going to tell you to take it somewhere else. We're not going to help you. And I don't want to deal with stuff like that anymore. I did that with a Mustang I had, and I'm over it. Just buy the car that's fast. Keep it the way it is. Enjoy it as it is. And when you go ahead and resell it, you'll get more for it. And you won't lose all the money on your mods. So anyways, enjoy your day. Enjoy your holiday weekend. And I will have some PDR videos coming soon. I do have the card on the way. And I think I have one for my digital camera somewhere. So I could probably get that and pop it in there. As long as the weather permits. It's a bit cloudy today, but I don't think we're going to get any rain. So, and I don't want to drive in the rain. Why drive a clean car in the rain? I got to go through all the mess cleaning it up. I have a car that sits outside, and I'm just going to leave this in the middle of the garage and have plenty of room to move about in my garage. So enjoy your day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully very soon. And I'll leave you with the black Corvette badge. Peace.